Hey folks, thank you for joining me on the third video, Gods and Nemesis, the making of the video game demo. The whole purpose of this series is basically to encourage those that are making video games to show the making of this demo and try to eventually encourage a team together in order to complete the full RPG game. It will be an open sandbox video game, which means you can explore, walk around anywhere you want, and do your own thing. And then there's also the main quest. You can of course go on and complete the entire game if you want. So that's the whole idea of all these videos, and to encourage an understanding of how the principles required in order to make video games as a whole. You'll see in the background I have various creatures from the board game I made many years ago, and I just have them randomly appear on my desktop, kind of to remind me of the various creatures so that I can include them in the video game. Some of these things I made so long ago I don't remember, like that one right there. It's some ant creature. I don't even remember what it was called, and that's the way it is. But anyway, I wanted to show you in this video. I'm going to also show you the surface of Euthanastrean. I didn't show you outside yet. I showed you a cave yesterday. There's a lot of locations I wanted to show you, and that's just for the demo. That just allows for the demo to operate accordingly. And I'm probably going to go over some of the quests. I don't want to spoil it because I want to release the game demo for everyone to play, and I want some surprises to be there. So I'll probably show a few things here and there of the actual quest that runs, and we'll go from there. But I wanted to give you a quick overview of there's the solar system that is the Z solar system where Euthanastrean exists. This is the planet of Zeus, and it has 3 moons, Graptus, Panolithene, and Euthanastrean. And this game is based upon Euthanastrean. The book that's out right now is based upon Zeus. And it has a binary solar system, Grathi-Loethene, Grath-Nola-Thethra. This is all these weird names and stuff that you see are based upon a language I had developed. It's not a complex language, but it's there enough to where I can make a storyline based on it. It's important to have the runes and the language there in order to make a sense of history. And you probably would look at this and go, oh, why would somebody go through all this time and effort to make a solar system of a mythical solar system of Zeus, of this planet Zeus? Well, the reason being is that you want to create a sense of history that you may not even realize yet when you're writing books, when you are writing little storylines of the characters that are in a video game. You need to do things like this in order to capture some things that you were not able to capture you would not have been able to capture before. For instance, the Eulangi, which is the alien creature that exists on Zeus, they rely upon the shadow of the moons and of Zeus itself in order to gain their magical power. So understanding the solar eclipses of these 3 moons and the planet of Zeus will be helpful during the game to create a realistic effect, and so that the players can gain the what's generally called mana in a lot of RPGs. It's called Umbra in Gods and Nemesis demo. They gain their power through the shadows. So just little things like that. I would never have been able to come up with that if I did not do this. So that's why it's important. All these are mapped out. There's a little bit of a history of each one of these, and I'm just going to quickly go through this. Here's some formulas and stuff. It looks really complicated. It actually wasn't. This Kepler's laws, I think that's what his name is. I don't remember. But just to give us some sense of realistic background to some of the orbits and the weights of these planets and things. So you might want to do that yourself. I don't know how in-depth your games are going to be, or even a book. So that's just something to think about. Now, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to go to the surface of Euthanastrean. I'll show you around, and hopefully you like what you see. Alright, here's the surface of Euthanastrean. It's still loading things into the game, so you hear a little click noise. That's just for me as a game designer to understand that things are loading into the world. That sound will be taken out on the demo's release. Right now it's nighttime. I have a full day-night cycle, so it goes from day to night. Right now it's accelerated much faster than what it would normally be in the demo. I accelerated it in order to understand how the lighting works, and I have to make sure that the shadows look right and various aspects such as that. So I had the day-night cycle going pretty fast right now. Also, it has a full weather cycle, includes tornadoes, all kinds of strange weather effects. I love weather, so I love all those types of things. I've tried to put rainbows in and things like that. It just doesn't blend well. I'll try again maybe later on and try to get that to work. But as it just didn't look right, so I have some things to do, I guess, with that. Hopefully I can get it to actually look right later on. Also, it has seasons. This is probably the season of fall, basically, and that's another important aspect for the weather cycles. It makes things interesting. The players journeying outside. It could be snowing, it could be raining, and there's full season, so it might take 30 days for each season to come into fruition. Also, these little green triangles, if you remember in the other video, are for the AI to navigate the world. So this is based on a function I had created called All Roads Lead to Rome, and as the name suggests, all these roads that you see mapped out will allow an AI to travel the entire world and know where to go. So if I tell him to go to the cave over here, it has a specific name, it will read these nodes in here, which will lead him or her to understand how to get to that cave. And so that's a very important aspect for game development for your AI. If you're going to have an open RPG like this, you want your AI to have a little bit of intelligence and have the ability to roam. That was very hard to create, and it's still a little quirky, but it works pretty well. The level has not been fully formed. I have this small forest. This is integral to the demo storyline, but as far as populating the entire outside, this is a 4 mile by 4 mile scale area is what it approximates, and it was going to take a long time to populate with all kinds of things. That's what the team is for. As far as the demo, I will populate certain things, but I'm not going to go into extensive detail because there's a lot of little storylines, little caves and things to go into that I haven't created yet, and that's for a team really to develop. It would take way too long for an individual to create all of that. These edges will eventually be pulled down and formed into beaches that go into this water, which is probably very hard to see right now because it's dark. Oh, and I did not turn on the day-night cycle, which... And I made a folder called Skywalker. Yes, I'm a Star Wars fan. Couldn't help it. And hopefully it'll start coming day. I was wondering why it was taking so long. This floating stronghold is important to the quest as well, if you're wondering what that is. I don't want to spoil too many things, so I don't think that's important to go over in too much detail. Its sisters, that's Soul Vine Thrin, and there's another one called Grath Thrin. And sorry about that. Also, one last thing: this world will have extinction charts. There will be certain species that can and will go into extinction mode, and they probably will never come back. Although there's certain classes that you can choose when making your character that might allow these creatures to come back, but it's extremely difficult. I thought that would be an interesting type of thing to add to an RPG. I don't recall any other game doing that. Doesn't mean it's not there. I think it's going to add a pretty interesting flavor to this game. And in the next video, that should be about it, actually. Wow, that's pretty foggy. I'm going to have to make adjustments. A little too much fog. There's the two suns that we went over before. But in the next video, I'm going to go over treasure chests and RPG objects and the interactivity of those objects. If you have any specific things you want to learn about, even if you're using Unity, a lot of things, this is Torque 1.2, a lot of things are very similar between the engines, and I can give a basic concept of how to do various things. And I definitely would not mind making a video, so just send me an email if you want a specific video made. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Take care.